So it's starting now. Okay. Hopefully these are working. It's a work in progress. So this is what the fourth episode of the British podcast. Today we have Neale. We don't have much time. Mark's coming just to pick up a bit of art. I'm going to get straight into it. I will just say that you were David Trimble's advisor.
I was, yeah.
Yeah. You were in the
yeah, I was a councillor for Creole and Portavine for 4 years and then 2 years ago.
Yeah, very, very quickly, I paint parades in Maverick. In large part, I was sitting in a conference. And I did it. It's something I do every summer now.
Very well, too.
Yeah, thank you. So, I just need a quick wee preface. So, middle class, metropolitan, unionist from Belfast, that's me. Went to the grammar school. I have my own preconceptions and notions. I always went to 12 growing up and watched from afar, looked at the bonfires from afar, more middle class, you could say that. My gran always enjoyed the 12, talked fondly about it. My mum liked it. Sort of about it. Again, very much from afar. And I have my own then preconceptions of what loyalist bands, men and women were, in bands. I have my own preconceptions of what Orangeman were. The notions of loyalists bandsmen can be best summed up by when I was in drum in County Monaghan when I did my little Ireland Twitter account. I sort of did it for 2016, I think. Again, a guy my age came up to me and said, "Oh, he did this, he did that, you wrote this, you did this video," and I said, "Oh, let me, nice to meet you," and he said, "Oh, it's my sister, oh, we're in a band," and I'm like, "Oh, geez, you haven't got any weapons on you, don't be bothering me, don't be hitting me now." And then that's where I was lighthearted, I was joking, a wee bit serious, but obviously it wasn't. And then a conversation started about how, like, you know, I'm a rural unionist loyalist, I'm a band, but this is like our community hub, this is a GBA organisation, you know, this is our equivalent. And ever since I kept in touch with the guy, the other week. So that was a great sort of real spawn from the eyes, and then meeting the likes of Mark, like yourself, chatting to you, getting to know you, getting to meet your wife, getting to meet your kids. You actually asked me specifically, commissioned me to paint the First of July parade last year in Ballynahinch. I get to see the ceremony, you arrive, your wife and your kids, and you've been doing it for years. This is a big event. I get to paint it for you, I get to see the mood afterwards. What a special time it was for you and your family, and you know, like to call him Cusker, him and his brothers. So, and then I follow you on Facebook now, and we keep in contact, and see what updates you have, and I see you travel all around Ireland. You're also a rugby supporter, and you put your Orangeman. So it's sort of like, I'm like, well, I have my preconceptions of what an Orangeman is, you know, drunk, violent, unruly, unreasonable, very deeply, like overly fanatically Christian. You're completely not that. So my long-winded preface, I was just wanting to, you know, comment maybe on that.
I think Brent, what you've got to realise is this, that everybody's complex and everybody's different. And everybody comes from a different background. I mean, my family history is that and whilst we as a family, my own family, were not, you know, fanatical with the orange, it was always something in the background, like yourself. We always went to the parades, we always enjoyed the celebrations. I have to say, rarely I went to bonfires, but then we lived in Malone, and there wasn't just the same intensity there.
Yeah.
But it was a great day out. But what the Orange Order stands for, aligned to a lot of things me, it takes you back to places that very few other organisations do. There's very few things that anybody can say they're 5, 6 generations back and be a member of. And I value that because it actually gives me a rooting in who I am. And the political side of it, I'm a unionist, it expresses unionism, and I'm positive. And from a faith perspective, I mightn't be fanatical, but I have a strong faith and I believe that faith is important. But again, it's a faith that respects others rather than a confrontation faith. But the Orange brings those together. And however, the Orange over the last 20 years has had bad press. Largely, I would say, one of the reasons was bad leadership. Because the Orange, if you go back, the Orange right through the mid to late 20th century.
I'm just checking this.
No problem. Had leaders of great quality. At the end of the day, they had 100,000 members in the 60s. Business, leadership, you know,
Look at SDKs.
absolutely, yeah.
I've said that to my wife that we have this PR perception of just these wild, uncontrolled drunkards and violent, and then that they own the garment clothing company.
Yeah.
Out in the ends of Farmana and Belfast City Centre.
There are other examples, and they're fewer than they were. I mean, there's a lodge in Belfast. I mean, the founders of UTV were members of LOL number 7. And the newsletter, LOL number 7. You know, the shipyard owners, all of these
George
guys.
Best's father was he?
George Best's father, George Best walked with the 12th. You know what I mean? There's a great historical link between both the middle and the upper classes of the Orange in the past. What happens, of course, is that the troubles arrive and controversy arrives.
Yeah.
Controversy arrives, and the leadership and the middle classes move back. They become confrontational, and that's uncomfortable, and people withdraw. And what's happened in the Orange side, a lot of the leadership, a lot of the people that were there in the past are no longer there. I mean, you talk about families. What I find amazing is the number of people that say to me things like, "Oh, my grandfather was a member of the Orange. I have no time for it."
Yeah.
And you kind of go, "Well, why? I have no time for your grandfather and his history and his culture." But times have changed.
Yeah.
But equally, as with so many other things, the reason to be, the purpose isn't always as clear as it once was. And again, there's not the solid direction that is needed. I think the Orange has a real positive future in promoting positive unionism. I think it has to be part of that. It has to be part of celebrating British culture within Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
It is actually celebrating Northern Ireland itself. We've got a centenary coming up. The Orange will do the normal. They will have the big parade. They will have the big features. But I think at a local level, they should be really pushing forward the positive message that 100 years, Northern Ireland is here. We've delivered on our promises. Yeah, we've come through really hard times, but we're going forward. And I think we should be leading the conversation on behalf of unionism to say, actually, if the Republic wants to hold a conversation or have a unit set up to talk about shared Ireland, then we've got to be there saying, actually, lads, shared means mutually shared. Shared means mutually respecting. And it doesn't actually mean the only answer is your answer. Because Northern Ireland has shown that we have a reason to be. We continue to be part of the country because the vast majority of people want that. And while some believe that it's some sort of economic linchpin that we're hanging on to union because they give us stuff, it's much more. And I mean, that's going to continue. And that's sort of
That's the thing. So, no, it's not about shared island unit for me. It's about shared islands. So
we have been here, and we are here. I mean, I talked to you earlier about this whole idea that we're the planters. So we have to be here to be accepted.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back. I'm not a planter.
Yeah.
I live in Northern Ireland. I've always lived in Northern Ireland. My family's always lived in Northern Ireland. We are Northern Ireland. I'm not a planter. I haven't come from anywhere else. I know where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I am here because this is where I belong. And by the way, for me, the best future for me, my family, and the whole community, I have to say, Protestant, Catholic, regardless of who you are, the best future for me remains within the union.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a unionist.
can't remember the name of the guy who did it, but I'll try to be quick here. So he did an article years ago about the slide, I think the term was, or and it was death of hangers on. That's the key conception of the order. So in terms of PR and perception, it's undoubted that the Orange Order and Unionism has a serious PR problem, whereas I have highlighted the likes of yourself, many others, Aaron Callan, who are just regular working dudes, who are very down to earth, very regular, enjoy a pint, enjoy watching rugby, who are going to constantly travel on that and holidays. There's nothing fanatical or particular about this. I'll never forget, there's a Republican friend of mine, and he said the most terrifying spectacle that he ever saw was NI 21, and that was like a sort of Neale Unionism. What is there like almost in the opposite of, obviously Unionism, Orange Order has work to do to tie up the fringes and excesses, but there also seems, on the other hand, you do the PR on their own, but there seems to be a hunger for these outrages and excesses, well on goaded.
I think one of the biggest problems that unionism has is that it's never really worked out how to articulate this message. I think what, over the years, particularly I would say since partition, unionism did what it did, and then they just settled in. They used the state that was created just to continue what they wanted. The big problem was they didn't do as Carson did, didn't actually bring the other side in. And we've always had that problem.
Yeah.
And going forward, we have a message that we have to give. Unionism, NI 21 was a good concept. It was spoiled by other things, but the whole idea of making middle class people comfortable with the idea of unionism and comfortable with speaking about unionism in a positive way.
Yeah. Well,
they vote unionist,
yeah.
but they don't feel comfortable talking about unionism.
That was me. I've been on a bit of a journey. I'm very familiar with some of my friends. Northern Ireland supporters, probably not from Northern Ireland, but are recoil with horror at the thought of the Royalist band or an Orangeman or increasingly some of our RUC and so on and so forth. And that's because of the cultural noises going on around. But what I'm trying to get at is, I just watch online. There's a guy called Neale, for example. He's a hero in sort of niche online circles. And last 12th, not this COVID one, the one before, get me back to England. I got paused in Dublin in Minister House for the food shops and the cabinets is usually pretty progressive. They're with the cabinet and mountain lodges now, McAleese is very positive. But then at the same time when I can't remember exactly the format was, but there's a female minister up in Belfast watching with higher ups in the Irish.
Yeah.
And there's something that for TV back then maybe was saying,
I think.
what?
I think he was in Purple, was he not?
Something like, yeah. And he was, I can't remember what he said, but it was just sort of, this is despicable of what on earth was going on.
Oh,
So it's sort of a niche, I keep saying it's a niche academic, isolated idea, but if you actually talk to anyone on the ground, never mind Northern Ireland, where it's even soft, unionist, recoil, I think on this island that it's almost impossible, like a task in terms of reworking this poisonous perception.
I actually come back to my concept where I believe that actually at the heart of it, Fianna Fáil and we believe that that's the bottom line. They will tolerate me, they will patronize me. You're right, they'll come up and see the parade. They're lovely, that's fine, as long as they don't do anything more. But they actually, at the heart, do not believe that I'm the one. You heard Michael Martin talk about the English getting bored with us, and therefore it'll all disappear. We'll suddenly wake up and realize, actually, they don't love us. This is not about somebody else loving us. This is about us. No, our future is best within the context of the United Kingdom. And Irish nationalism and Irish republicanism have never actually got that. They don't see it as legitimate political ideology, a legitimate dream to be part of the UK. And when you say it, you go, oh, but you're a planter. You don't really belong here. You know, if you were truly Irish, that isn't the way you would react. Now, clearly, I mean, unionism and unionists find it very hard to describe themselves as Irish. Ironically, of course, Carson and Craig and the boys never found it difficult to do that. We do now. But again, it was the likes of De Valera that said to be Irish, you had to be Catholic, speaking, and you had to be rural. That isn't who Northern Ireland is, was, or probably ever will be. So we were excluded from being that type of Irish because it makes it comfortable for Republicans to say, but you don't belong. And if you challenge in social media, if you challenge, if you stand up, if you say, no, that's not the way it is, the first thing you hit with, you're a planter, go home, go back to England. If you don't like it here, go on, you know, go on. Come on, you know, I mean, you wouldn't say that to, you know, immigrants today. You wouldn't say that to Americans. You know, there is no country in the world that has not had migration and invasion and whatever. So why do you say it to me? Why is it acceptable to say I don't belong?
It is like the last you're allowed to get away with.
Oh yeah, totally.
I think when De Valera, I like to talk about this in the 1920s when he was talking about repatriation grants to get the unions back to the UK. I think the US envoy or ambassador in Ireland said, hold on here. These guys have been here longer than the founding fathers of the United States. You turn around and tell these people who live in a Massachusetts to go back to England. I think you're a bit here.
But the point is, ideologically, there are a lot of nationalists who would never put it in those terms. You either become what we are, in by definition, our form of Irish, or you don't belong. And when you don't belong, you don't have a voice. And you can't express it. And that, for me, is where Ireland and Northern Ireland is failing. There's a massive, within nationalism, they're only, the only way they see a united Ireland is by outbreeding people.
And it's funny that I actually did a very quick, we thought the very same thing was said yesterday, that's as wide and as ingenious and creative they can be, it's just demographics now.
As far as I can, if they can outbreed us and then tell their children, you are Catholic, you are nationalist, you must vote this way, don't think about it, just do it. That's the strategy. And unionism has to stand up and say, actually, for middle class and working class, upper class Catholics, your future is much better secure in the union. It is far better, there are greater prospects, there's greater opportunity, more secure in the union than in the Irish Republic today. And let's debate those issues. Let's not debate, what happened. And I'm an Orangeman, but we don't need to debate what happened in 1690. We can celebrate the history that we've all come through. We don't need to look at 1798, even though I love it. It's a fantastic period of history. But the question is, what is it meaning today, and what are the strengths and weaknesses of the UK? What are the strengths and weaknesses of the United Ireland? You know something? For me, for my kids, I'm still arguing that the union is the best option. And that's where we should be. And it is economics, it is culture, it is history, it is a tradition of liberalism that we have. It's amazing when you look at the histories of the two parts of it. The North should be, Northern Ireland should be really stripping out there with modern, positive, liberalism. We lost our way somewhere, but it's a positive liberalism. I mean, the Republic have caught up, but when you look at them in depth, they still have issues, and the big issue that nationalists and Republicans, and I have to say, Fine Gael and Fine Gael, we don't belong.
Yeah.
And they can disparage us on that.
Yeah. Okay. So very last question, just with a comment. You consider yourself Irish?
I'm happy to be described as Irish, because again, when I lived in England, I mean, being British didn't mean anything in England. So I'm happy to be Irish because I don't define myself as Gaelic speaking, Catholic or rural. I see myself born on the island of Ireland as Irish. However, legitimately, supremely over all of that, I'm British. I believe in the UK. So if someone in Scotland can be Scottish, someone in Wales can be Welsh, someone in England can be English, I can be Irish. It doesn't stop anything for me because supremely I'm British. I'm an Irishman who genuinely believes that the future of this part of the island, and had I been there in 1912, the whole of Ireland was best.
Yeah. I'll not get into it, but we'll leave it at that.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right.
Good to see you.